Hi everyone, my name's Sarah and I'm one of the Lavinia Stamps creative team, and I'm here today to showcase some of the stamps from the Twilight Tea Collection. This is Twilight Hideout, and originally I was thinking of putting this on a moon, but I couldn't find my moon stencil, which should be in the box but isn't, unless I'm just looking badly. But actually I really like how it's worked out with the star. So let's get started on having a go at this. I've done it on the little B7 card. If you wanted to have the whole star on and you don't like it being chopped off at the edges, just use A6. So I'm using multivarious and I need my sticker stencil. So this has been used before, it's not brand new. For those of you, I'm sure most people do know these now, but just like tap it off on some cloth or your jeans or something, just to get rid of that initial excess sticky if it's a brand new stencil. So we're going to start with the star in the middle. I used the lemon drop first and then kind of went around the edges with the Sundance. And this is a fairly new colour, so it's very juicy. There we go. I love stenciling colour. Just a quick way of adding it, isn't it? So I'm going to use the Sundance to just add some depth to it, really, around the edges and at the points. There we go. Take that off. I'm just going to give it a blast with a heat gun, because I'm going to put the mask on top of there, and if it's wet it can pull off the layer of card. So and then once it's dry, we need to grab the mask of this, and again this is where you can see how much that's been stuck to my jeans. So I'm just covering that yellow as much as I can, and I'm going to go round with midnight blue. This is an older one, so you'll see it's not as juicy basically. And we're going to use a technique, we're just going to splash a load of water on and lift off the ink. That it's a very forgiving for things like, you know, if you wanted a very smooth coverage, that blob there might really bother you, but adding the splashes of water is, you're not going to see that. So sometimes it's just about responding as well to the marks you've got on there. So it got a bit dark round in the depth, so let's even that out, make it dark round all the corners of that star. So there we go. Let's take that star mask off. I'm just going to give it a wipe with a baby wipe. I know those of you who know me well and my limited cleaning, I do actually clean my stencils straight off with a baby wipe, because otherwise I'm the kind of messy person that would pick it up and get ink all over myself. I mean, I say I do that with my stencils. I don't normally do it with pattern stencils as much, but these sticker stencils I do. Okie doke. Oh, missed a bit out. Put that back on because I'm going to add my splashes of water. So I'm about shoulder distance away with that spray bottle, although it probably will vary on what your kind of water spray bottle is. But I wanted quite a lot of these little tiny splashes, and obviously you can always go in and put a bit more in. If your ink's quite thick, you might want to let it set for a few more seconds. Oh, there we go. There's some stars, and we'll be using it again when we splatter the pink, the white Posca stars on. But for now, there we go. Right, so I am going to go round with my Gold Wink of Stella pen. I'm adding a bit of sparkle round the star, and this is also a really good way of hiding any gaps or any overlaps. So there's a slight gap there between the star and the sky, but we don't need to worry about it because we're going to fill it in with some shiny gold, and let's get this star shimmering. You'll see I find it a lot easier kind of going from the middle down, but you do what works for you. I just find that's when my hand is steadiest, doing a line from left to right. So there we go, our star has some shimmer. Then we need our Twilight hideout stamps. Now this is a set of 2. There's also a multi-bunch, like a cluster, so yeah, that's another option that you could use. I'm going to be stamping in Medieval Blue, and you can choose where these go. I'm going to have one hanging down just around almost the middle. Like that. That's the larger of the 2. Let's get the smaller one. I love the curly bits on this. I love the almost, it's like it gives the impression of a woody stem, doesn't it? And then all these tendrils. Let's maybe have one almost in the middle. And then one just slightly lower. And it was actually with this project I discovered the Mondeluz pencils are so good at coverage that it's colouring with the pencil over the yellow and the blue. You can't tell that there's a star under there, as it were. Right, so there's my hideout pieces, and then I found that the silkweed hops are very similar to this. They look like part of the same plant almost. So I'm going to stamp those along when I find them. Honestly, how is it that you can have everything out on your desk and still not put your hand straight away on something? There we go. Right, so I'm just going to add some more of these. Buried my ink pad under the kitchen roll next to me. And let's add some more dangles of this plant. We can overlap it with those pods. We can have some coming right down, and maybe just some ends. There we go. Shall we add some stars while we're here? Well, I've got that ink pad out. Now I'm using Burst of Stars, which is a long thin one there. But you could use one of the small sets or the circle ones, up to you. I'm not doing this particularly in a stripe. I do down here. I'm just getting a load of stars on, and what I really like about this set is the variety of size of star. There's some bigger ones, there's some smaller ones. And you can also take this off and just add a few extras in any of those little gaps where you can't get to. There we go. So I'm using to colour, I've got basically a dark brown and a mid blue. So these are 19 and 33. And I'm just going to colour these pods. I mean in real life they'd be clear, aren't they? Those based on those Chinese type things, lanterns, Chinese lanterns, which I think are orange, but we're in fairy world so we can use whatever colour we like. I thought, well, it's a twilight, let's go with a dark blue. Anybody who follows Mona will have known that about that pencil, being able to cover that, but and if you don't know, Mona is queen of these pencils and colouring, and you really must check out videos, but I had not tried that before. There we go. I'm going to pop my mask back on and sprinkle some Posca. I just don't want the little stars over the stars, and I'm not that great at direction. Although I did, let's move that sample out of the way so we don't get white everywhere, but I did. I'm very proud of myself that I did manage to get some splats. Let's give that a better shake. This is not huge in my skill set. I just don't whack it hard enough, I don't think. There we go. So there's our extra white stars. Let's give a bit of highlight to these pods. just around the edges now, just blotted it slightly so it wasn't that distinct. Maybe a little hint of light in the window. Oh, that's a big hint of light. Light would be coming from that side, wouldn't it? Some light on this side. Oh, jumping pencil. Going to colour over some of that. There we are, and let's just find a relevant word on one of the stickers. I used Starburst on this one. Feed your soul. I think, oh no, let's go with Starlights, that's rather relevant. So I'm just going to pop that in the corner. Get my Gold Wink of Stella back out. And go around the edge of that word. And there we have it. Twilight Hideout in front of a star. Thanks for joining me.